Hey, it's Mary Anglade, the founder of Builder Lead Marketing. Welcome to the Builder Lead podcast. Hopefully you caught the first two episodes. Today we are talking positioning. So many builders literally look exactly the same, even though their work might vary dramatically. And that has a lot to do with positioning in the marketplace. So today we're going to really get into how do you position yourself to stand out? The first step I like to do is just really think about, again, who's your target market, right? Who is the target? Did an entire episode on this. You've got to know who your ideal prospect is. Are you dealing with, high income, very well-to-do people? Maybe they're, a little bit older, looking for a second home, or are you more in the economy side of the market, serving people that, maybe they're new growing families and they need a place to grow. Maybe they're in a townhome. So again, I encourage you to go back to that episode, but at the very least, what you want to do is think this through, okay? You can have a great business in either parts of the market, and of course there's, the middle as well, but it's going to be hard to serve all people. And if you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. So, you really want to get a good idea of that. The next step is you really want to look at your competition. Think about your top 3 competitors. I encourage you to go look at their website. This is just a great exercise that, I encourage you to do this monthly just to see where they are. And then go in and look, Google home builders and then put your location or new home build your location. See who comes up. Take a look at their website and then compare your website. Again, once you have a sense of kind of what the market is looking like, 1, you may discover opportunities. 2, you may discover you really need to do some work on your website because, as I mentioned before, 97% of home buyers begin their home buying journey online. And that includes people over the age of 75. 87% of that age group does. So you are really going to want to, again, get a sense of the landscape. Then you want to think through what makes me different. All right. So, what is, I'm going to use some marketing jargon here, but what is your unique selling proposition? Right. So this is also called your elevator pitch. So if I meet you briefly, let's say we're at a party and, I say, well, what do you do? I build premium second homes on Cape Cod, and I've been doing this for the last 30 years. We have, the highest spec in the industry. We build these beautiful homes, whatever it is. Okay, all of a sudden I have a pretty good idea of who you are. Now, you're not always going to have the opportunity for an elevator pitch. Whatever that makes you unique really needs to be on your homepage, needs to be, on your website. Then I would take it a step further and think about the imagery that really kind of conveys who you are. I was on a call the other day with a builder, and they're not working with us, at least not yet. But, I asked him, who do you, who's your ideal prospect? Who do you serve? And he said, well, we build premium homes, for wealthy people in the New York area. So I look at his website and, I was kind of blunt. I said, well, why do you have that house on the homepage, right? Your website is your 24/7 model home. It was a nice house, but it was very modest. I think, somebody who is very wealthy would look at that website and think, well, I'm not sure this builder can really build the kind of house that I'm thinking of, right? With, a lot of customization, that kind of thing. So you really want to think about that. So what is your imagery, what is going to say to somebody, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. What imagery are you going to use that's going to convey what is unique about you. So, when you get that sense, write it down. What are the 3 things that make you stand out? Then go again, look at your competition. What are the 3 things that they seem to have a unique selling advantage, right? And then make sure that you really do stand out. And then I also recommend you go to a friend, somebody who will tell you the truth, and you ask them, take a look at my website. Don't say anything more than that. What do you think I'm selling? Who do you think I'm selling to? And you might be surprised by what they tell you. So that's today's marketing lesson. It's about positioning. I just did an entire webinar on, and you can find this on our YouTube channel, about planning for 2026. But it's a lot of evergreen content if you're listening to this beyond that time frame. And there's a whole workbook that goes along with it. So feel free to reach out to us at builderleadmarketing.com. Go to our YouTube channel, watch that video. There's a lot more in that. But for today, that's all. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to check back for our next episode.